Hello, this is teddygaming. Welcome back to another review, and in this one we're going to be looking at the tmnt, the RW ongoing series, issue 140. Now this issue I'd say is really interesting for a few reasons, and I must admit with the way they set things up with the whole city and mutants interacting with humans and stuff like that, I just find it really great and amazing. Can't wait to see where it all goes, as I feel as though that this has so much potential to being so great. Not to mention it's giving me a little fast forward vibes, which is just, oh my god, that's just amazing. Okay, so quickly before we do get into the actual review itself, I do quickly want to talk about the artwork. Now the artwork is done by Gavin Smith, and I must admit the artwork is really great in this issue, and I'm really looking forward to see where they do take this art and where they do take the next following issues. Just because I think the artwork is just so amazing. It has a bit of like realism to it, as well as like cartoonist. Like cartoony, I want to say. Hopefully that makes sense. But I feel so that also gives me little vibes from Sir Campbell's art style, which I think is also really interesting, really great. And I do like their art style, and I can't wait to see where they do take things. I feel as though that they have like really great art style, and yeah, I feel as though that next one issues is just going to be great for the artwork alone. Okay, so for the actual story itself, we do get to see the turtles at the beginning of the story in New York City during the daytime, fighting the pearl dragons. And I must admit, I do find this really interesting and really great, a little homage to issue number 1 of the Mirage comics, and I found this bit to be just really great. I do think it's a little bit short though, and I would prefer it to maybe go for a few pages and see the fight extend, stuff like that. As well as do like seeing the turtles fight. I do feel as though that with them only like fighting in like one panel, I do feel as though that it was a little bit bad, but I still liked it nonetheless. So that's when we do go into the next following scenes, where we do get to see the turtles just running around the city during broad daylight, with mutants interacting with the humans, and I must admit this is just so great. I just love seeing all this. It's really giving me a lot of vibes from Fast Forward, which again I absolutely love. I love how like Fast Forward did it in that series, and I'm really interested to see how we're going to do it in this series, just because it feels through that like with the comics, they do have potential to really expand upon certain things and make this whole idea really great and interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see how they handle it, and I just can't wait for it because, again, it has so much potential to be really great, and I just think this whole idea is really great. Oh god, I love it. So in the next scene, we do get to see the turtles just talking to each other, and next one we do get to see Raph thinks that he saw Alopex, and next one that we do find out that it was actually Alopex, and I do find this to be interesting, and we do get to see Jenica says to Raph, like, don't go after her. But that's when we do get to see Jenica has to go off to go do brand practice, and I do think that's somewhat interesting. And we do get to see the Marquis watching a press tour, where we do get to see Baxter, Sally, as well as Surrey doing a press tour for mutants, stuff like that. And I do find it really interesting. It's something which I would like them to explore and see a lot more of. But at the same time, I do think that like all the politics stuff, it could be a bit boring and stuff like that. So I'm not too sure what I really want to see from that, but I know that I want to see a little bit more, but not too much, if that makes sense. And then we do go into the next one of the scenes, where I do get to see the turtles just wandering around New York City, wondering like what to do next, just because basically the police are now doing stuff which the turtles are doing, and the turtles don't really know what to do, and just like really trying to find themselves in like new society and stuff like that. And I do think it's a little bit interesting here where Raph just says and like mentions that basically Casey is missing, and I don't know if this is maybe a reference to the Alliance or if Casey's just missing in general or something like that, so I'm not too sure. But at the same time, because this issue has come out before Armageddon Game issue number 8, there may be a little bit of spoilers, but for some reason I doubt it very much, so you just never know. And then for the final scene, we do get to see Leatherhead comes out with Suze and he kills a mutant. And yeah, I don't really have too much to really say about this bit here. I do think it's cool that I do get to see Leatherhead as a villain again, and it's just so great. I don't really know where they're going with this, but I do think it'd be interesting. So going into the next few scenes, I do think that this whole scene really annoyed me quite a bit. Just because in the next following scenes, we do get to see Alopex and the Weasels. Now here we do get to see the start of her new clan, the Claw Clan. And I think that what they're doing here is pretty interesting. I think that with Alopex like doing her own clan thing, I think that could be interesting if they do like go ahead and actually develop this whole thing to be a really interesting, great thing. But at the same time, I don't really know how I feel about it, just because I like it, but at the same time, it feels through like more or less like the Foot Clan stuff, there's more or less being pushed to the side and more or less being forgotten about. So I think that like there needs to be a bit more of a balance with the clan stuff. And to be honest, I got a feeling that with the whole clan stuff, I wouldn't be too surprised if at one point in the future we do get to see like a civil war type thing, we do get to see the like Splinter Clan versus the Claw Clan, or even a war where we do get to see the Foot Clan versus the Splinter Clan versus the Claw Clan. I wouldn't be too surprised if we do something like that. Then after that, we do get to see Alopex talk to the weasels and says something really weird. She says that basically the turtles left her behind, and I must admit this is really annoying me for over the past few days, just because the turtles didn't leave her, she left them, and then got the arse about it just because basically Raph was helping Hob even though she teamed up with Cry. I don't know what they're doing with her character anymore. It feels to that like they're basically destroying the character and she's basically done for at this point. She is beyond help at this point. This comment here really annoyed me just because oh god, I can't deal with this anymore. So after that, we do get to see Leonardo's walking around the streets, and that's when he comes in contact with Bob, and he's getting beaten up by these two men. So Leo comes in and helps him, and beats up the men who've beaten up him, and then asks Bob if he wants to come in and be like a real ninja and stuff like that. I thought this bit was pretty interesting, and yeah, I don't really know what to really say about it. It was okay, I can't wait to see where they do take this whole thing. But at the same time, we've already done the stuff with like Carmen, and how little they used her overall like the past 10 issues, I don't really know what they're going to be leading up to with Bob and Carmen, so I mean I don't know if it's something I should be looking forward to with Bob and Carmen, or if it's something that I should be like, oh yeah that'd be cool, but I don't really know what to really make of it, but I think it's interesting that we do get another character here. So after that, we do get to see all the characters back over there and talking about what they should do next, and I do find this to be really interesting. And I do like these situations that the Turtles are always in, but basically like they have like almost like loads of different opportunities and possibilities that they could take, and each one of them could be really interesting and really unique. So she's like, Leo wants to go to Northampton, you've got Mikey who wants to be part of society, and then we've got Donatello who just wants to learn about the future and stuff like that. And I do find this to be really interesting, and something which I would like them to explore and see like all the Turtles like separate themselves and do their own stuff, which I think could be really interesting and could go down more the route of how Volume 4 the Mirage comics did, with all Turtles doing their own separate thing. And I do think it could be really interesting if they do go down that way, and something which I would like them to explore, and I do think it could be interesting. But the way that things are being set up with the Turtles, I don't know if it will go down that route, so whether they do choose to go with the Turtles, or like whatever adventure they do go down, I'm looking forward to it, because I feel so that like whatever option they do take, this is going to be really interesting. So then for the final few scenes, we do get to see Raph leaves the team, he goes up to the top side and gets angry, and that's when he hears a voice that basically tells him to go and leave and stuff like that, but Raph doesn't really listen to this voice, and that's when he finds a dead body on the ground. And then that's when things get really interesting, as Monty Moose, a character from like the 80s, is come back and is now a police officer. He arrests Raphael and frames him for murder, and I can't believe this is something which I'm really saying, that Raphael is getting accused of murder and going to prison, but oh my god, that is just so interesting. And I can't wait to see how Raphael gets out of this whole situation, as again, it's a really interesting situation, and something which I'm looking forward to see how they do approach this storyline, as it could be really interesting, really great, and I don't know what to really make of it. It's just so great and interesting, and the potential and possibilities that are there, oh my god, I'm looking forward to this so much. Now, overall this issue, I have to say that this is definitely a step in the right direction. After the way things have been, the Armageddon game and stuff like that, it was definitely a series which was, I don't know, I want to say, it was definitely making me not like Turtles anymore, and it's really pushing me over the edge to basically quit reading this universe. But I must admit, reading this story and going back to how things are normally done, I think this shows the strengths of Sophie Campbell's writing, or doing her own thing, not having to fit the story into other people's stories and stuff like that. And I do think that this issue was really great, and I do think that the things which I do set up for the following issues are just so great and amazing. Can't wait to see where they do take things next. I just think there's so much possibilities and potential here, and I think that this is a step in the right direction to bring back the Turtles to being fun again, and I just can't wait to read more. And the artwork was amazing, the writing was amazing, everything about this was just so great. I do think maybe there's a few little things in here that are just that bit could have been better, but I think overall this issue was really great, and I can't wait to read more again. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you think about this issue. Do you like this one? Do you not? And yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. If you do something, please share. Let's just grab no stuff. Goodbye, yo. Bye.